everyone. This is Nirmala Kumari, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce from Jamni Lal College, Hajipur. First of all, a warm welcome to all of you. Today we are going to learn about consignment accounting. Nowadays, market of good is expanding very much. In such a situation, it is difficult for an exporter or a producer to contact personally with numerous consumers spread at different places. In fact, an exporter or manufacturer or a wholesaler considers convenient and profitable to sell goods through agent who has a better knowledge of local market. Exporters, manufacturers, or wholesalers appoint agents in different parts who sell their goods on their behalf at their risk. The sending of goods by the owner of goods to his agent for their sale is known as consignment. So, in a simple way, we can say that business is expanding. All the business, all the wholesalers or all the producer does not have that much resources like physical resources, financial resources to reach each and every consumer directly. So it's better to go through an agent. So they appoint an agent in the local areas, and that agent will sell the goods on behalf of the owner of the goods. So on selling this goods, this agent is entitled to get commission on the work he has done. So such type of arrangement for selling the goods is known as consignment. So consignment accounting, in other way we can say, it is a term used to refer to an arrangement whereby goods are sent by the owner, that is called consignor, to an agent who holds and sells the goods on behalf of the owner for commission. So basically in consignment accounting there is two things. This one, number one is the sale of goods through an agent, and the agent sell goods on behalf of the owner. Let us see one example. I think this example will help you to understand the concept more conveniently. So here is an example. Raja Mills Limited of Ahmedabad wants to sell 100 pieces shirting in Delhi but has no branch over there. So he selected Fancy Store of Delhi to sell the goods on behalf of Raja Mills. The Fancy Store is entitled to 5% commission plus expenses whatever incurred in selling goods. So in this example, Raja Mill is the consignor because he is the owner of the goods and he wants to sell his goods through Fancy Stores Delhi. So in this scenario, Fancy Store is the consignee or the agent. He will sell the goods in Delhi in behalf of Raja Mills. So this type of arrangement is known as consignment. So in consignment account, there are two parties, consignor and consignee. The consignor is the person whom we know as the owner of the goods or principal. And the second one is the consignee. And consignee is the agent who has been given the work to sell the goods. And for selling the goods, the consignee will get the commission. So now we'll see the features of consignment. The relationship between consignor and consignee is that of principal and agent. Here it means the consignor is the owner and the consignee is an agent. The owner of the goods is the principal and agent works only to sell the goods. He has no right over the goods. The second point is only the possession of goods, not the ownership transferred to the consignee. As such, consignment is not the sale. In case of consignment, only the goods transferred from owner to agent, not the ownership is transferred. The third point is the consignee sell goods at the risk of consignor. Here it means the agent will sell the goods, and if any damage happens with the goods, this loss is related to the consignor, not the consignee. This loss will be bear by only consignor, not the consignee, because consignee is the only agent. Next is consignee gets agreed commission for his service rendered to the consignor. Consignee gets commission for work he has done. That work is to sell the goods. So that commission is fixed by the consignee. Beyond that, the consignee will not get anything. Consignee is entitled to reimbursement of expense. A consignee is entitled whatever expenses incurred by consignee by way of transportation, freight, carriage, or any kind of go down rent he has paid. So such type of expenses will be reimbursed from the consignor. Next is profit and loss on consignment belongs to consignor. Any profit or loss arised from consignment account is only belonging to the consignor, because consignor is the owner, so he is the we can say he is the person who will share profit and loss. The consignee will not take any part in the profit or loss. So what consignor and consignee gets? So in case of consignor, the consignor gets remittance and consignee gets commissions. Remittance means what? Remittance means the amount which was calculated or derived from sale value minus expenses incurred by consignee minus commission payable to consignee or minus amount received as advance from consignee. It means total sale value minus expenses incurred by the consignee or less the commission of consignee, and whatever amount received from consignee will be deducted. So remaining amount will be payable to the consignor. Commissions. As we know, the consignee gets only commissions. So in consignment accounting, there are two types of commissions. The one is general commission and the other one is the specific commission. General commission means what? General commission is also known as ordinary commission, which is calculated on total value of sales multiplied with rate of commission. And a specific commission is further divided into two types, that is del creditor commission and overriding commission. When we'll go to the specific commission, I will explain you how it is calculated and why it is calculated. But let's go to the how to calculate general commission. We'll see the fall over there. See, general commission. Such commission is payable to consignee on the value of goods sold, whether it is cash or credit. We'll add cash share, we'll add credit sales, that comes the total value of sales, and on the basis of total value of sale, we'll calculate the percentage of commission. Now we'll see del creditor commission. It is an additional commission paid by the consignor to consignee for undertaking responsibility of debt collection. See what happens to increase the sales. Sometimes it happens that agent sells the goods on credit in the market and he is having the responsibility to collect the amounts from the debtor. Sometimes it happens that some of the debtors did not give their money, so that money is lost, और we can say as bad debts. हम लोग इस तरह से कह सकते हैं कि इन सेल्स को बढ़ाने के लिए जो है वो एजेंट मार्केट में उधार में सामान बेचता है और बाद में पैसे कलेक्ट करता है, जिसमें से कुछ अमाउंट वो नहीं भी रिसीव हो पाता है, तो उसको हम लोग बैड डेट्स बोलते हैं. तो बैड डेट्स जो होता है वो एक रिस्क होता है और ये रिस्क जो है वो सिर्फ कंसाइनी का होता है. तो इसीलिए कंसाइनी इज टेकिंग एडिशनल रिस्क, so he is entitled to get del creditor commission. So if consignee gets del creditor commission, will be a risk of bad debts. यदि हम consignee को del creditor commission दे रहे हैं तो वो bad debts का risk लेगा. If consignee does not get their creditor commission, will not bear the risk of bad debts. वो bad debts का risk नहीं लेगा. Here will explain you why this risk belongs to the consignee. Consignee का ये risk क्यों है? Why this risk belongs to consignee? Because when we sell goods in the market, it is the responsibility. Who is selling the goods? Agent is selling the goods. Owner is not aware of that debtor. So agent is the person who is going to collect that money. If the money has not been collected, it becomes bad debts. So when it becomes bad debts, it is the responsibility. It is the loss of only consignee. This loss will be bear by consignee only, not the consigner. So, the consignee is taking risk. That's why the consigner has given special commission. That special commission is called del creditor commission. Now we'll see overriding commission. What is overriding commission? As the name is overriding, over means above. For motivating consignee to sell goods at prices higher than a specified price that is fixed by the consignor. Here it means कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि कंसाइनर चाहता है कि भाई मेरा सामान इतने रेट पर, कम से कम इतने रेट पर बिकना चाहिए. यदि आप इससे ज़्यादा रेट पे सामान को बेच देते हो, इफ़ यू वुड सेल माई गुड्स बियॉन्ड दैट प्राइस, यू विल गेट ओवरराइडिंग कमीशन. उसके लिए एडिशनल कमीशन मिलता है और वो कमीशन होता है ओवरराइडिंग कमीशन. सो फॉर्मूला उसका है सरप्लस रियलाइज्ड multiplied with rate of overriding upon 100. So surplus is equal to actual total sales minus sales at a specified selling price. So we have seen here three type of commission. The one is general commission, which is calculated on total sale value. The another one is specific commission. This specific is further divided into two parts, that is called del creditor commission and overriding commission. So here is an example. Through this example, we'll calculate all three types of commission and we'll see how to calculate this commission. So I'm reading the question. B sent 25 sets of TV costing 10,000 each to C. So B is the consignor. He is sending 25 sets of TV costing 10,000 each to C. The TV sets were to be sold as to yield 25% on cost. C sold 15 TV sets at the rate rupees 14,500 per set on credit and 5 sets at the rate 14,000 for cash. So in this case, B is the consignor and C is the consignee. So B wants that goods to be sold more than 20 goods to be sold on cost plus 25%. So C sold the goods 15 TV sets at rupees 14,500 per set on credit and 5 sets at the rate 14,000 for cash. So here C has sold a total 15 plus 5, that is 20 unit of TV sets. So as per question, what we have to calculate is number 1, the condition is C is entitled to get rupees 500 per set as commission. Here is a simple, C will get per set 500. So if he has sold 15 plus 5 sets, so we'll multiply 20 sets multiplied with 500. So we'll calculate the commission accordingly. The next is C is entitled to get 5% ordinary commission and 2% del creditor commission. So 5% will calculate on total value. So the value will be calculated as 14,500 multiplied with 15 units plus 14,000 multiplied with 5 units. So total amount will be this amount will be total value of sales. On that value we'll calculate 5% and 2% Del Trader commission on the same amount. The next one is C is entitled to get an ordinary commission of 5% on total sales, Del Trader commission of 2% on credit sales, an overriding commission of 20% of any surplus realized. We'll see the third condition. It has blend of all three types of commissions. So number one is ordinary commission 5%, which will calculate on total value. Del Trader commission 2% on credit sale. See, when I was explaining about Del Trader commission, one thing was missing the note. That thing was sometimes in the question nothing has been mentioned about credit sales. Credit sales के बारे में कोई mention नहीं रहता है. तो जब क्रेडिट सेल के बारे में मेंशन नहीं रहता है तो हम लोग डेल ट्रेडर कमीशन टोटल वैल्यू ऑफ सेल्स पे कैलकुलेट करते हैं. इफ स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन किया गया कि क्रेडिट सेल पे ही कैलकुलेट करना है तो फिर हम लोग क्रेडिट सेल्स के अमाउंट के ऊपर कमीशन कैलकुलेट करें. एन ओवरराइडिंग कमीशन ऑफ 20% ऑफ एनी सरप्लस रियलाइज्ड और 20% एनी सरप्लस है तो हम लोग कैलकुलेट करेंगे. Now we'll see the solution. So in first case, as I told you, as I explained you, the consignee was entitled to get commission of rupees 500 on per unit. So he has sold total 20 units, 15 units credit and 5 units cash. So total he has sold 20 units. So 20 multiplied with 500, that is rupees 10,000. So he will get 10,000 commission. In second case, the consignee was supposed to get 5% ordinary and 2% Del Trader commission. So how we are going to calculate this amount? So 14,500 multiplied with 15. He has sold 15 units of TV set at the rate of 14,500 and 5 TV sets at the rate of 14,000. So we'll add both the sales and after adding we'll get the amount 2,87,500. So on 2,87,500 we'll calculate 5%. So after calculating the 5%, the commission comes rupees 14,375. As per second case, second condition, 2% Del Trader commission. So Del Trader commission will also be calculated on total value of sale unless it is mentioned specifically on credit sale. यदि स्पेसिफिकली क्रेडिट सेल नहीं मेंशन किया है तो हम टोटल सेल्स के वैल्यू पर ही निकालेंगे. सो टोटल सेल वैल्यू हमने पहले निकाल चुका है जो कि 2,87,500 है, उसका 2%. सो 2% कैलकुलेट करने पे ये अमाउंट आता है 5750. सो सी को टोटल कमीशन जो है ऑर्डिनरी कमीशन 14,375 और Del Trader commission 5,750. So total commission उसे 20,125 मिलेगा. थर्ड केस जो है वो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है because as I told you it has blend of all three question but one more important thing is also there. So first we'll calculate actual sale. So actual sales we have already calculated in the previous calculation, that is 14,500 per unit multiplied with 15 units is it comes 2,17,500 and 5 units were sold at the rate of 14,000. So it comes around 70,000. So total is equal to 2,87,500. In the last condition we had calculated this 2,87,500. So total sales at a specific price is important to calculate here, because uh, when I was reading the question, in first line it was mentioned that owner or the consignor wants to sell the goods at and cost plus 25%. So cost plus 25% is equal to, if the cost of each TV set is 10,000 rupees, so we'll increase the price by 25%. So it will come around 12,500. Specified price. The specified price will be 12,500. So 12,500 multiplied with 20 units. This 20 units is 15 plus 5. So specified price is equal to here 2,50,000. Now we'll calculate the surplus. See point number C. Surplus is equal to A minus B. Actual sales minus a specified price, specified sale value. So actual sale, what amount was realized by 2,87,500 minus specified price, which was fixed by the consignor, was 2,50,000. It means consignor was expected to get 2,50,000, but actual amount was received is 2,87,500. So here the surplus is 37,500. Now see point number A. Calculate ordinary commission. So ordinary commission will be calculated here on specified price. So now the question arises, why specified prices has been chosen over here? Because the consignor is giving overriding commission. Overriding commission means surplus amount. So when overriding commission is given, we calculate ordinary commission on specified price, because if we'll calculate this amount, if we'll calculate total sale value amount, that is 2,87,500, the amount, commission amount will be different, and again we'll calculate over overriding, so there will be 2 times calculation of surplus. So that's why, well, if overriding commission is given, overriding commission is calculated, we need to calculate ordinary commission on a specified price. So specified price is 2,50,000 and we'll calculate commission 5%. So it comes 12,500. Del credit commission, as per question, as per condition, it has given that it should be on credit sales. So we'll calculate on credit sales. So credit sale amount is 2,17,500 plus 2%. We'll calculate 2% commission on 2,17,500. So that comes around 4,350. Overriding commission will calculate on surplus. Above we have calculated the surplus amount was 37,500. So on 37,500 we will calculate 20%. So 37,500, 20% comes around 7,500. So the total commission will be A plus B plus C. So 12,000 that is 12,500 plus 4,350 plus 7,500. So total will be 24,350. So just now we have seen 3 type of commission: general, specific. Under specific we have 2 type of commission: del credit commission and overriding commissions. So now I think it will clear to you how to calculate this commission. In consignment accounting, both the parties prepare their books of account in their respective. But the most important thing is the calculation of commission and remittance. So till we have studied about how to calculate the commission. In my next lectures, I will be explaining you the different books maintained by both the parties and how to calculate profit and loss on consignment account. So very soon I will be uploading the next lecture. So till then, thank you for listening me. Thanks.